pile of stuff in here to clean up, so figure I better procrastinate and get some drum editing done. This is it's like a student, one of their bands. He didn't really have enough time to learn this. Oh, while I'm here, okay. Let me just explain this real quick. This is part of a drum template that I have, and the way this is supposed to work is if I click overhead, if I arm the overhead track, it should arm all the tracks that are part of this template. There's two problems here. One, that it's arming the snare bus, which it shouldn't do. And it's not arming the snare bottom because I just added that track. I just took one tom off and added this snare bottom. Also, it's not the right color. So let me do that. I'm so bad with the, here we go, track color. Set tracks to custom color. And I have no idea what color that is. Oh boy. Let me pick this one. Hold on, let's see. Let me choose the track color. Maybe I can do it from there. Custom color. So here's the color. I'm going to add it to custom colors. And then when I do this color, there's the color. Blammo. Now that should be the same color. Okay, good. Okay. Now the way this overhead works is that these are track. Get into any trouble here, but they changed some words for sad reasons. So this is track grouping enabled. I'm going to make this one, I have to add this new one. So track grouping enabled, it's enabled. So I'm going to say what track parameters are they? This is part of, let's see what these ones are. This is group 1. All group 1, group enabled. And the overhead is lead, record arm lead. All the other ones are record arm follow. Okay, so snare bus, I don't want part of this. I don't want this to be record arm follow or record arm lead, whatever. Is there a way to safe it? Lead when following. Just take that off of group enabled. How about that? That'll make it safer. This one too. See, okay, there we go. So the groups that I have inside here are not group enabled. So that's good. So I'm going to add snare bottom to record arm follow. And now I do this. If I click the overheads, it does nothing. Okay, what's going on? Bing. Group 1 dot. For some reason, I don't see the okay, sorry, I'm messing this up. I don't mess with these very much, so I'm not super surprised that this isn't doing exactly what I think it's going to do. Port arm, track grouping. This is record arm lead. Oh, sorry, the group is enabled. Oh, okay. All right, so for snare bus, I don't want that to follow forward arm. Okay, so that's not. Okay, so now I'm going to disarm overhead, arm overhead. Okay, let me check all these. Okay. Now I might want to add this drum talkback, but I don't know what channel it's going to be. This is just a channel so that you can hear the drummer talk back to you. You know, I'm just going to add that. I'm going to put this in here. The problem with this one is that I don't know what channel it's going to be. But let me show you what it is doing. Instead of a regular recording here, it's not recording input. It's set to record disable input monitoring only. And that's why this arm track looks a little bit funny. And what this means is it's not actually going to record when it's record armed. It's just going to put it in input so we can actually hear the guy talking. That's all. So let's save that. I'm going to leave that record arm, but I'm not going to make this part of record arm follow in the track grouping. And now I'm going to select this whole thing, and I'm going to save this. Save tracks as track template. And I'm going to call this 10/17/2024 3 tom drum recording template. I'm going to overwrite the other one. And, you know, the good idea is to go in there and delete your old ones if you're not using them. So anyway, let me take these out of ARM. I'm going to mute this one. And this is the what the drum teacher laid down as his as a guide track for him. So let me show you what's going on here. Oh, okay, hold on, sorry. So on here, I was trying, there's a video with Bobby Huff where he gives you the Def Leppard snare triggers. So I downloaded them, threw them inside Trigger to try them out. Step inside. Hey, hey, hey. I mean, it's legit, man. It's free. Go to Bobby Huff's channel. It's like Dr. something. Hold on, let me see where that is. I know I keep going off on tangents. There, Bobby Huff snare. It is, oh yeah, right here. I don't want to get Pelosi. So here, this is Get One of the Greatest Snare Sounds Ever from Bobby Huff. And it's in his donate thing. I just put in $1. So, but this is awesome. It's got the Def Leppard snares on it if you really want that. So there you go. Anyway, so here's his drum tracks. Let me get into got like a tom fill at the beginning. And then here's more into the song. Okay, so pretty heavy. A lot of toms. There's some double kick stuff going on in here somewhere. Yeah, right there. Okay, now this is all the band playing in the room at the same time, and of course this is what you get. You get a bunch of bleed, right? This is the overheads. You got vocals in here. You got some guitars. If they're out of tune, you're kind of bowing. There's nothing you can do about it. So definitely we had to re-record the drums. So that's what it was aiming for, and I'm just going to delete these because I don't need them in this one. This is I got a separate mix. So here's the new ones that Isaac made today. I've got 9 takes of them, or 11 takes. So if you watch, I've got it set so that T goes to the next tape, Shift T goes to the previous take. So if I just hit T, you'll see the different takes here. Some are incomplete takes. I should probably delete the incomplete takes. Anyway, I'll look at the latest take. And so this is, I've grouped all these tracks. Let's take a look at how these sound. Okay, so it really falls apart right there. Other than that, this is all pretty good. I got snapping enabled. I'm gonna take off snapping. Right here's where it falls apart. It's actually pretty good up until then. So let's look at a different take. Let's look at the take right before that. It's a take 10. Okay, that's a little messed up, but I think this take is good. Let me look at the one previous. So that it should be a 1 beat before. Let me look at take 10. So there's the kick right here. I don't know if you can see this. Here's the kick. That should be here, right? But other than that, let me listen to this whole take. Maybe this whole take's good. Hold on. Put the click on. Okay. Okay, so as is normally the case when you're recording unsigned drummers, right? If there's gonna be a problem, it's gonna be coming out of a fill. But you know what? This ain't that bad. So we could use dynamic split items here, but I think what I want to do, I want to use the kick drum to tell us where we are in the song. So I'm gonna use the kick drum as the main focus for editing. Let's do just for this section. Oh, I was talking to Justin about actually doing a selection for dynamic split. Hold on, let me see what he said. Give me 1 second. Let me oops. So I was asking, how can we do dynamic split just for one small part of the file? I'll deal with this later. Sorry. I know, so all these tangents. Okay, so I'm just going to do dynamic split. So let me view dynamic split. I'm going to tell it to go at transients and add stretch markers to selected items and grouped items. You can see these items are grouped. That's this little chain link here. All the drums are grouped. And that's going to be add stretch markers to selected items and grouped items, not replace stretch markers in selected items and grouped items. So this is the new version that adds them together. It looks like it's catching all these kicks here, so I'm not going to mess with it, but if I had to, here's the set transient sensitivity, and it's at, here's the threshold, it's at 38, minus 38.1. If I put it higher, see some of these, they start going away. There's the splits, 38.1, looks good. I'm going to do right here. Okay, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to add the stretch markers. You know, a lot of people don't like using stretch markers. That's okay. You can, you don't have to. I don't know that this green color is the best. You can't really see these stretches very well. Let's change this colors of all these tracks real quick. Maybe we'll just go to the default color. Okay, you can see a little bit. I know it's not very good to see. I did a theme. Where is it? I did a theme that made this a little bit easier to see, but well, for some reason I switched it out. I actually had red lines for these stretch markers. Maybe we'll change that, but for right now, let me I have these keys assigned to do 1 does measures, 2 does half notes, 3 does quarter notes, 4 does eighth notes. And so let's take a look at where this is on an eighth note. So I'm going to look at this very first measure. I'm going to select this part of the time selection, and I'm going to hit X, which in my case, if I show the actions here, find shortcut, I'm going to hit X. X is item, snap, stretch markers, and time selection to grid. So what that's going to do is it's going to knock them right to the grid. So watch this. I'm going to hit X, blammo. So now this has moved all 4 of these kicks right to the grid, which are actually, that just moved the snares there. But they're all grouped, so it's all going together. So that's the kicks moved there. So let's listen to what that sounds like. Click. Okay, so that's good. I could put a trigger on this kick so it's easier to hear. That's probably silly to do at this point. So let me get the next two measures. This looks good. Do this slowly because it's pretty easy to mess this up. But I'm gonna do a couple measures here. And good. So I'm using the mouse wheel to scroll here. And so I'm just making a selection here. And you could do the time selection up here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make it easier to see theme. Sorry. What did I call this? My light default? Yeah, okay, so this is way easier to see, right? So here's the time selection. Stretch markers are red. So I'm selecting this area on the bottom half of the waveform. You can set Reaper up to do that in mouse preferences. If you really want to know, I'll tell you. But I've done enough rambling, so I'm just trying to get through here real quick. I'm just looking through and making sure these are very close to where they're supposed to be, which they are so far. Let's take a good listen. So I've done everything up to measure 17. So let's listen to these. Okay, well, that's something weird. Yeah, I think he tagged the mic here. Either that or that's an artifact from stretching. So one way to tell is if I take out, I'll take these stretch markers out. And let's hear if we still hear that artifact. Okay, it's still there. So that's not an artifact from stretching. That is something. So let's find out what that is. I'm gonna look on the crash track. There. Let's just look in the section. So look on the brass section. There. Let's look in the toms. Oh. Yeah, there we go. I think he nailed the mic here. I'm gonna leave that because I can. These toms are all pretty ill-defined, sadly. Which I kind of expected. It's really hard to get really clear toms out of hits like this. So let me solo this tom. If I could trigger these, it'd be a nightmare to trigger. We'll see how we deal with this later. I just want to look at this editing. Okay, so that's a little problem there, but I think we'll figure out something to do with it. Okay. Sure, this one's in the right place. See, something falls apart here. Let's look at these patterns. So the kick goes on the 1, the 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4. Okay, so right around here, something funny happens. So 1, this is the 2 and? Yeah, that's the 2 and 4. Okay, so there's almost a 10% shrink over here. And look at this. There's like a 5% stretch, 15% stretch here. Okay, so this is looking a little weird. I'm gonna hold control on here. It's gonna move all the stretch markers over. I have a feeling that's gonna help us. Let's see how bad this 10% sounds though, because now we're getting pretty far into the stretch. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so 1. Now this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why is that? Is that right? Okay, so I think this might just be messed up here. So this is 120 right here. That's huge. But it makes sense. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of makes sense. So let's take a look and see if it gets back going. So 1, 2, and 4. So this is back where it should be. Knock these into place. I mean, look, with Reaper, you can make anything work, but it's nice to have something really good to work with. This is not too bad. We'll make this work. We'll see how this goes. How far am I? Oh, I'm almost done with this section. 2 and here's the 4. 1, 2, and 4. That's looking good. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and. Okay, so that's up to measure 23. Those didn't stretch very far, so that's good. And you see I'm working with stretch markers, and this is kind of the easy way to go. You could split and stretch and all that. So this is 1. 4. 1, 2, and 4. Okay, that's good. Just got a couple measures to go. That was only a tiny stretch. Okay, so now here's weird. This is 1. It's got 1 and 2 end, and then what? Okay. Okay, something very, very bad happened here. Notice that this stretch marker is back here, but these aren't. For some reason, this thing wasn't moving with the rest of them. Let me see what's going on there. Did I split somewhere? 96. This is, I don't want to say right off the bat, this is a bug, but this looks very sketch. Okay, it's all good to here, and then it falls off over here. This might have to do with me dragging. Here, why does this look different here? Okay, look at that. These guys are different. Why are they different? Now they're the same. I think this had to do with me doing the control drag. All right, that. When I hold down control and I drag the stretch marker to move them all, it doesn't always select all in the group. So you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to look into that, but for now, I'm just going to do this by hand. So let me go back here. This is the 2 and 4. So you always be on the lookout for this. Let me show you what this is. So let me go to preferences. On Mac, this would be settings. I'm going to go to mouse modifiers, and if you can't find it, just go to the find and click mouse. Show you where they all are. Or let's say modifiers, and hit find. Mouse modifiers. So in media item context, left drag. Where's the shift? Media item. Looking for stretch markers. This is all the modify. You can modify the living daylights out of Reaper. So this is how it handles everything about what your mouse does. And I did some crazy stuff in here. So I'm looking for stretch markers. See stretch markers, because what it's doing is it's moving the stretch marker, and somehow let me left click. No, it's not in here either. Something's going on with the stretch markers, and when I grab control, because I want, when I do a control drag, I want all the stretch markers in that group to move at once. And it worked before, so why did it mess up later on? think it's fine now. So let's just assume this is going to be right. Probably a bad assumption to make, but about all the side stuff. But this is just how this stuff goes. 2 and 4, 1, 2 and. Here's where I got messed up last time. Now. Okay, so want to make sure that this buildup is in time. These sounds like snares, but okay, so 2 of these are toms. Let's take a look. Okay, so it's these 2 toms. Now notice the toms are ahead of the kick, and I'm using the kick as the 1. So there's gonna be some flamming here, but that's I mean that's what drums do. This is natural. I know we're editing these a lot, but I'm still leaving a lot of nature in here, believe it or not. However, I am going to knock these snares in time. So I'm using tab to transient here. I'm going to move it by hand. And then this next one, there we go, tab to transient, tab to transient. So I'm just hitting tab, and then I'm dropping a stretch marker. Maybe we want a little bit of a pause here for effect, but I'm going to knock it in place for now. Maybe that should be a longer pause. Maybe we should move all this in. Look, it doesn't always have to be exactly perfect to the grid. I mean, often it does. No matter what Rick Beato says. However, it might sound a little bit better with a slight pause right here. Da, 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 da. Bam. Now, there's a bajillion ways to do that in Reaper. I don't want to get into any of them right now. It would sound a little bit urgent, more urgent if yanked all those together. I'll give you an example. Do this. Watch this. So I'm gonna take. Okay, I'm gonna put this back, but for right now, I just want to show you what this would do. I'm gonna get rid of all those stretch markers. I'm gonna move this back. So this is gonna speed up a little, which isn't quite the effect we want, but watch how when we get a pause going here, this would be something like a producer would do. Just having that pause there, or probably more likely do this. You know, little pause, but for now, I'm just gonna knock it right on the money, and we'll deal with it that way. Okay, so that, you know what, I can probably use this. I'm not thrilled about what I'm going to have to do to make these toms work. Let's look at that one really ugly tom there. Just that one right there. If I could copy and paste the tom in, I'd probably do this after I get things kind of edited in. I'll just drop a tom in there. I could drop a tom trigger in there. I do not want to try and trigger all these toms. I'd rather bite down on the live electrical cable, but this is doable. I mean, this is a tricky part, you know, all these flams and stuff. Once you get going on the song, like, it's all the easy stuff. Till the double kick part. But this is all good. I mean, I'm just gonna like put it at the start of every measure. This is nothing. Easy stuff. These toms, man. So how would we fix this if we had to? Okay, so what I would do, I'm gonna turn off item grouping so that if I were to mess with this one track, it's not going to affect the other tracks. I'm going to copy the very first couple hits here of this one tom track. I mean, maybe you just copy the whole all tracks, but let's see what happens with just this one. Okay. I split this. I'll drop these guys in here. Paste it in. Let's see if that gets in the overheads or anything else. Much better, right? I'm not gonna leave that like that for now. I just wanted to show you as an example. Here's what it really sounds like right now. Okay, so definitely fixes it. There's other ways to do that. Let's have a little bit of fun with say we wanted to. Let's see what this will sound like with the good kick in here. If we didn't have any time, I'm just gonna knock a let's listen to this kick. Okay, so something's flamming here. Let's see why. So it doesn't need anywhere near that detail because it's a good solid kick hits this guy's making. That's good. Oh man, look at that volume cranked. Okay, I'm gonna take that down. That's why. Okay, here we go. Slappy. What do you think? What we got here? Try one of the old my I did an update to trigger and it's sending me all these. Okay. Trigger 2 library. Oh, wow. Okay. Where's my what do you call them? I had the Chris Lord algae. Chris Lord algae. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the wrong directory, that's why. This is where it was before. I don't know why. The update shouldn't have deleted all that. Sorry, I'm just messing with triggers. Sorry, that's boring. There we go. Now we got everything. Okay, so if I did one of the Chris Lord algae kicks, try the rock kick. Oh, why aren't we seeing these? Oh, because they don't see the license. See, look, it dropped all my license files. Oh, come on. I had to go through this and get this one. But anyway, that's like a very basic Reaper editing thing. I actually got to do a bunch of other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna send this off. I got a lot to do tomorrow, but hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be up and actually doing some real editing on here.